right, it is Wealth Wednesdays, and I have my Wealth Wednesday partner, Stacey Tisdale, on with me. Hey, Stacey.
Hey, Angela. Happy Wealth Wednesdays, everybody.
Thank you, thank you. And our special guest today is David Shands. Hey, David, how are you?
I'm amazing. Thanks for asking. Happy to be here.
All right. Well, David, let's talk a little bit about your background and what it is that you're doing, because I love this. You have the Social Proof podcast, and you're the founder of Sleep is for Suckers, and you're also an author, and you also host the Morning Meetup, which is a daily live conversation that you do. So let's get into some of who David is and how this all started, this journey to entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. So actually in the intro, it makes me seem like I do a lot, and I do, but I try to teach, like front facing, I have two focuses, just content and community. So in terms of content, I have a Social Proof podcast where I teach entrepreneurs. But also interview entrepreneurs to teach entrepreneurs. In our morning meetup program, which is our community, I teach entrepreneurs. So I do one thing through a couple different avenues, which is teach entrepreneurs. So I think one of the major things I had to learn in my journey from working at the Cheesecake Factory to being a full-time entrepreneur was I just had to focus and I had to make a decision. This is the lane, this is the group of people that I want to start with, I want to focus on. But in a quick story, I worked at the Cheesecake Factory for 6 years. The last 2.5 years, I started building a t-shirt brand called Sleep is for Suckers, geared towards entrepreneurship and anyone that's losing sleep doing what they love. And I actually left the Cheesecake Factory in 2012. And I'm just focused on building my business. But a lot of people are like, yo, how'd you leave your job? How'd you leave your job? How'd you leave your job? So one of my mentors said, you can either tell 1,000 people individually how you did it, or you can write a book. So I wrote a book on how I went from my job to my dream. Book did really, really well. And that kind of turned into a coaching career, and the coaching turned into events. And my way of promoting the events was to interview the people that were going to speak at the event and put it on YouTube. Because my thought was, if you like the interview and you like the person, you'll buy a ticket to come see the person at the event. And that's my journey of podcasting. And the rest has been ups. It's been way up since then.
Way up.
Way up.
David, your podcast is one of the most popular for Black entrepreneurs in the country. You have over 1 million downloads a month. And these morning meetups you do are awesome. You get over 1,000 entrepreneurs every single morning in a meetup. How did you get to that scale?
A couple different questions. The podcast is people want real information, and it's not built off of celebrities. We don't have any celebrities on our podcast. We have people who have real information, and people value it, and we're just super consistent with it. But again, all of the things that I do focus on one group. We have about 1,000 people in the program. Close to 300 show up every day on the morning meetup. But Monday through Friday, we are teaching the principles of entrepreneurship. And I'm not the coach that makes most of my money from coaching. I'm actually building businesses, but I come back in the mornings to tell them what I did yesterday or what I'm doing or what I'm working on, so that they can have the game in real time. They can see what's working and what's not working. And I'm just a real person. And I think people can relate to it, because I was literally a server at the Cheesecake Factory trying to figure it out. And I'm not a pandemic-preneur. It's not like I made my first money in 2020 or 2021. So I literally left in 2012. So I've seen ups and downs and been depressed and scared and happy and excited. And I've been through it all. So I think people rock with me because they can relate.
And David, one question I always get from people when they want some advice is, people have their day job like you had your day job, but you're also building your own thing on the side to be an entrepreneur. And for some people, they find that to be really difficult, balancing the time, making the money that they need, and then knowing when it's time to leave your 9 to 5 and actually jump out there. So what advice do you give? Because I get that question all the time.
Like, jump out there. My advice for people is to set a quit number, meaning you have a goal, and if you reach that goal, you quit at that moment. So I told myself, if I make X amount of dollars in my business consistently for 4 or 5 months, then I'll quit. So let's just say, if I can make $4,000 a month in my business consistently for 4 months, I'll quit. So month 1, I make 4,000. Month 2, I make 5,000. Month 3, I make 2,000. Well, that means I need to start over again because my business isn't solid yet. but it was like piece by piece for me. So my objective was, and in my book, I wrote about $100 off days. I'm working 5 days a week on my job and 2 days a week on my business. And my only objective was to make $100 on each off day. So if I have 2 off days, that's $200 a week. So I started hitting this $200 a week, and I called my manager like, hey, instead of working 5 days a week, can I work 4 days a week? Because I figured if I can make $200 on 2 off days, I can make $300 on 3 off days. And literally I went from working 5 days a week to 4 days a week to 3 days a week to 2 days a week to 1 day a week. It was a gradual transition. It was over 2.5 years of intentional work. So I don't like tell people, yo, just quit your job and follow your dream, because you don't even know what following a dream looks like. So I had some time. So just progress, set small goals, and eventually, if you take one step at a time, you'll be at the top of the staircase.
You did the slow and steady, smart wins the race. You mentioned something earlier, COVIDpreneurs. And as you and I were talking yesterday, the number of Black entrepreneurs since COVID is up 40%. Amazing to watch the wealth that they've built. A lot of it's been done through branding, through social media, and that kind of model, and the emergence of coaches. Incredible. Is that sustainable when you look at where Black entrepreneurship is heading?
I don't think so. Things are for sure going to change, because entrepreneurship is up in the Black community, but so is spending. So Louis and Gucci, like the owner of those companies, became the richest man in the world because we had more money. And what do we do when we get more money? We spend it. We get the luxuries. During COVID, the line in Lenox Mall in Atlanta, the line for the Gucci store and the Louis store wrapped around the block.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, this is disgusting. Because we have a bunch of money in the economy right now, and it makes it easy to, I think it was a mix of money in the economy and then all of the things were happening with Black Lives Matter. So we came together as a people. We are shopping Black, and we are only spending with Black. So if you are Black and you have a product, you can sell it. Because people have money, they're buying it. And because you made some money in 2020, now you're coaching in 2021. When you had a job or driving Uber in 2019, we're still trusting because, oh, wow, you did something in 2020, so I'll pay you in 2021 for the information that you have. But those pandemicpreneurs don't really understand the ebbs and flows of business. You can build a business when things are good, but what do you do when the economy as a whole is in a rough patch? So I don't think these individual coaches will last long unless they start to collaborate with other people. So if you are in the beauty space and you're a coach in a beauty space, if you start collaborating with other coaches in the beauty space, it's more sustainable, because now you can start building a community, not just a coaching program.
That was interesting that you were saying that the future in Black entrepreneurship is going to be about a lot of collaboration, a lot of community, and also developing skill sets that are outside of your natural passion. Talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, this is just me personally, I think it was too much stock put into the influencer, and branding is super, super important. But what you'll understand is once you build a brand, you have to sustain the brand, meaning you can never stop working. So I know I have a podcast, right? It's doing well. But if I stop podcasting, we'll lose momentum, meaning I'll lose money, meaning a lot of my money is tied to my brand recognition. And that scares me, honestly, because if I ever can't perform, then it's going to drastically affect my income. So in terms of skill sets, whether, like you were talking about government contracting, if you can figure out how to get a government contract, if something happens to your ability to perform, you can at least teach somebody how to get a government contract, because the government isn't looking at how many followers you have, or trading is an amazing skill set, or just building a face, understanding business and building a business where your brand doesn't have to push it is something that I think all influencers 100% need to keep in mind right now. Like what you're doing, Angela Lee, with the coffee shop. If you want coffee and it's good coffee, you'll go get the coffee, whether Angela's there or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's important to build things that can exist where your name doesn't have to be on it.
100%.
You mentioned government contracting, and we're doing our first Wealth Wednesdays masterclass about that topic.
I saw a lot of people, by the way, in the comments on my page with Jay White and with the whole masterclass that we were discussing with him, and people were very skeptical about this whole government contract. People were saying it's not that easy to do, or everybody would be doing it. And they were saying it was just a lot of different information in there. So, I just want to make sure that we address that too.
Yeah, we just set the record straight on that. David and I were talking about it last night, and particularly in our community, we are going for those set aside contracts, the contracts that we think need to be Black, need to be a woman, and we try to get those certifications. That is a small pool. What we're talking about, Jason, and in our masterclass is the 96,000 contracts that the government puts out every single day. That's for everybody. For those you don't need certification, and this is his expertise, for those you do not need those certifications, and you're not kind of pigeonholed in that way. But the point of the master class is for people how to learn the process, because they're obviously, I thought those comments were great because a lot of people obviously don't understand it. And it's going to be, like David's talking about, really important for our community to create solid, lasting revenue streams that aren't built on your social brand, that aren't built on your followers. And I encourage everybody to sign up for that masterclass. You can go to www.thefedcode.com/Wealth Wednesdays. And I'll let David speak a little bit more about this, because I know you're the entrepreneur expert and you've really lifted up Jason's message.
Yeah, and before you say anything, David, I also want to say one last thing. Everything doesn't have to be easy, too. It does require work on your part. And so when people say it's not that easy, that's fine.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And that's the point of our masterclass. No one's saying that it's an easy thing, but we are working with someone who has streamlined it and it's going to teach you how to walk through it so it's easier for you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually the point I was going to share, is like the people that are in the comments saying it's not as easy as it looks. They are right. You need to listen to those people. They're right. But nothing is easy. Well, there are some things that are easy to do, but it doesn't reap a big reward. So it's probably really easy to get a job at McDonald's. Super easy, right? It's just as easy as it looks. You fill out an application, they need it. There's a sign, you can do that. But I hope that people are really tired of looking for easy. I have my YouTube channel since 2010 when I made the first video. I didn't make the first dollar until 2020. 10 years of creating content. I didn't make the first dollar. 2021 was 6 figures. 2022, we made over 7 figures in the podcast. But it wasn't easy. Some people say, oh, well, you set up a camera, lights, it's easy. No, it's easy to do that, but it's not easy. You're not going to stumble on $1 million.
Right. It requires work on your part. And so that's why
100%.
Signing up for a class and also learning from somebody who's done it that can show you the way, because you can tell anybody anything, but you still have to do the work.
100%. You can't get around it. So stop looking for easy. And if you sign up for the class, okay, don't just sign up and have your kids in the room or be driving. If you are really trying to change your life, I need you to focus. Don't be some people are on these calls or webinars, and the webinar is playing, but it's still on Instagram together. I hope people are tired of trying to find an easy way to make money. You got to focus. It takes work. So I love what y'all doing, man. And yeah, I've been rocking with Jason for a good little minute. And a lot of people that I know have taken his course and taken his program because he's an amazing teacher, and they're getting contracts too. So yeah, shouts out to Jay White. And
we love your story too, David. How can people find you and also join your network as well and watch the Social Proof podcast, also even be on these entrepreneurship meetup calls?
Oh, absolutely. Go to themorningmeetup.com. I'm literally there every single day. I got tired of charging $10,000, $20,000 for people. Listen, you get me every morning. And special guests. So we have a special guest. We do Q&A every Thursday and Friday. We have a book club. We're actually reading this book right here, Unreasonable Hospitality. We read maybe 15 books a year together, chapter by chapter. So we read a chapter and then we discuss it the next morning, what we read in that chapter. So we take it piece by piece. The Morning Meetup is just the most amazing entrepreneurial community in the world. So themorningmeetup.com, and subscribe to the Social Proof podcast. I think you'll enjoy it.
And we're really excited. We're going to be doing some projects with you when you were speaking about the importance of community and joining forces going forward. And I know you're going to pop into our masterclass.
Oh, absolutely. Let me know.
And again, people, you can sign up for that at www.thefedcode.com/Wealth Wednesdays. That is on the final month of Black History Month, February 28th at 8
the final
p.m.
day. Yeah, the final day of Black History Month. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. David, I look forward to seeing you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.